Okay, I know I'm late, but I also know that I'm here. And I know that Trevor is also not here as well. None of that matters though because Locked On Canucks is here and we had to do it, okay? Another weekend, another something happened. Nils Hoglander did what he did, and it's making me think a lot about two of the most important players that are not the important players just yet. Let's do this. Another episode of Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen, and this right here is the show where we talk about the Canucks, okay? Your team every day, and no matter what, we're here. Now, speaking of we, where's Trevor Beggs? Where is Trevor Beggs, man? Road tripping with the family, and more notably, didn't make it happen. But you know the deal, okay? Kyle Bowen, we only focusing on the good this summer because we're trying to put it out there. We need next year to work out. Hey, speaking of working out, I'm hearing a lot of things involving your Vancouver Canucks continuing to stay here. I heard two more names, Podkolzin and Klimovich. That's correct, right? Klimovich. Staying put, working out on the west coast, the best coast of Canada. Anywho, more on Podkolzin in what? In what? 8 minutes, 9 minutes? Maybe. And that's often the case, right? Whenever we bring up Höglander, we often bring up Podkolzin. On this program, we've been doing this since March. I feel as if those two are just as apparent as Beggsy and I on the program. They come in a duo. They're always there. Collaboration of some sort involving those two names. And I get it. Canucks prospects, sort of, kind of. Canucks projects, of course. And a sign of the future. They have to be. They have to be for so many reasons. And let's touch on the contract. 2 years, not one. What did Beggsy say? He's getting a 1-year deal. Not a good weekend for Beggsy on Locked On Canucks. Let me tell you that much, okay? Anyways, 2 years. It shows a little bit of faith and a little bit of a roadmap for fans to see this equation work out. And it does for the organization as well. This all being said, I feel as if everyone knows it. That contract is still very, very much movable. You can kind of bury that thing. And the second year, in year one, may be a bit of a red flag for teams to make the waiver claim. Am I correct on that? Maybe. Just in case Höglander doesn't have the training camp the Canucks need him to have. This all being said, again, optimism. Optimism only. The dark guy on the program, he's not on today's show. Optimism only. Now, I'm excited. I'm hearing again the names, right? A lot of people staying put in Vancouver, a lot of people training hard. Whether they're on the West Coast or not, we really don't care. But next season does start right now, and I'm assuming that Höglander is one of those guys also making the most of every minute that he has to train. Because that's the thing. There's a good chance all these guys were doing putting in the time, as I should say, training in previous off seasons. But let's be real, let's be honest. It's about the intensity. And I think everyone is just more intense this time around. Now, this is mainly because last season was so embarrassing for a bunch of talented hockey players. I wonder if Nils Hoglander was embarrassed about how last year went as well, right? Because from this point of view, in reality, he took a bit of a step back because he didn't play that many NHL games. This all being said, being around winning and being around playing confident hockey and being confident in playing hockey with Abbotsford, maybe just maybe it leads to a more efficient offseason, okay? A more confident hockey player entering the summer. And now this 2-year deal again, some security, a bit of a roadmap for him possibly to make the most out of what could be a really, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Lucrative career, because there's a lot of opportunity there to play with some good players. And we've seen the best out of Höglander again. The skill, the work ethic, it's there. I know the awareness has to be a lot better, the consistency as well. But he definitely does have the intangibles. Now, I was thinking about this as well. So much drive and so much thinking, always with the Vancouver Canucks. Your team every day here on Locked On Canucks. Höglander reminds me a lot about Garland. Did I say that right? Höglander reminds me of Garland. He does. And if Höglander takes the next step next season, I think it becomes way more appetizing than it already is to move off of Garland's contract and freeing up some money to fill up some other holes next offseason. Garland is way more replaceable if Höglander fits the bill, takes a leap, and can pretty much deliver what Garland can deliver 5-on-5 and being a play driver. There's a bit of a comparable to make. Höglander, a very polarizing player. The last thing I was thinking about was who he should play with, right? Because we brought up already a couple of times we brought up the opportunity that he will have to play and be surrounded by good offensive players, high-end talent. The way he plays the game, he can fit in and complement a lot of great hockey lines. Did I just say that? A lot of great hockey lines. You get what I'm saying, though? I think there's a small chance, and it all has to do with Höglander's training camp, okay? If he's rocking it and he comes prepared and he stands out, there's a small chance he'll start playing with Pettersson and Kuzmenko, right? I know Mikheyev did his thing. I'm just saying. There's a small chance because it is training camp. It is the preseason. Things happen. You see things like that. There's going to be an opportunity for him to start out with Pettersson. I know it's crazy, but I see, again, a player like Höglander went on complimenting two guys like Kuzmenko and Pettersson. Anywho, tell me in the comments below, who do you think Höglander would play with if he has an amazing training camp and he makes his team? How do you fully optimize Höglander? Where do you see him fit on the lineup? Where do you see Podkolzin fit in the lineup too? Or is he just playing in Abbotsford next year? We got to talk about that in a couple of minutes. Let's cut to break. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. My name Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs. Beggsy nowhere to be seen, all right? It is what it is, though, okay? Let's get back to the show after the break. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
Anyways, if you're into MLB, take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel. Get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. Hey, I might just get an MLB just for the money. Let's go! Hey, that's right. Just bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets. Win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting on everything from the money line to the over-under to who you think is going to hit the first home run. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today and visit fanduel.com/lockedon to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's fanduel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball.
Okay, we back on Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Kyle Bowen here. And the darkness, Trevor Beggs, not on the program. It's been one of those things, right? I've noticed it throughout my time listening to all the episodes and editing all the episodes. It does concern me, right? And especially on weekends like this, right, where Beggsy's on the road with his family and spending a lot more time with his family. I'm curious, does he bring that negativity over to the conversations in the car? Is he just complaining about the Canucks and not hopeful about the Canucks? Is he bringing that toxic masculine energy into his family household? Who knows? Who knows? Anywho, let's just continue being light on the program today. Locked On Canucks, your team every day. And yeah, Podkolzin, I'm hoping for the best. And there's a chance. Again, I think Faber tweeted it out. Klimovich and Podkolzin staying put, breathing this air while they're sweating daily. These boys working out 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day for the Vancouver Canucks, for your Vancouver Canucks. I know it. I know it. They're going to be prepared. And for a guy like Podkolzin, right? Again, the step back, a lot of AHL games last year, up the road. Again, though, this all being said, confidence, right? At least he was around winning in some sort of it. Now, a guy like Podkolzin, he probably doesn't want to win a lot of AHL games in his career. I know. And maybe he's competitive. Maybe he's not attaching himself too closely to those moments of victory, right? Because they're just AHL games. But I hope he got something. I hope hockey was fun when he was in Abbotsford, because the dude, in my opinion, is just missing confidence. And now he has a lot more experience with a lot of things in life. More games, more quote-unquote failures, all this stuff. He has an opportunity here, again, to impress early on, get an opportunity, and not let it go. Make it difficult. And being on that two-way deal on a team with a ton of wingers that now include what? Tanner Pearson. It's going to be tougher. And it's also going to be tougher because Phil DiGiuseppe, that dude works hard. And I think Tocchet likes him. So again, it's even harder for Podkolzin to make an impact in the NHL next season. And for us to think about it, it again sounds like a stretch, but it matters so much for this team. So much so that, again, I'm on this drive to see the sky with the family, only thinking about good things. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everything is beautiful. I'm only thinking about beautiful things and being ultra hopeful, okay? For real, ultra hopeful. The hope is real. I'm thinking the Canucks should call Podkolzin and work on a new deal right now. Right now. I think he's eligible for an extension, right? Has to be. The entry-level deal expires next season. He's an RFA. I feel as if, again, there's an opportunity here to buy low and buy some years on the low. Now, who knows? With the cap going up, somebody like Podkolzin, he may not want to, negotiate right now at this point. But is there a way to be creative and persuasive and buy low? And everyone talks about these ELC years, right? And you got to capitalize on those years. Well, it's your Vancouver Canucks. They're not capitalizing on those deals ever when it comes to converting those contracts, utilizing them, and getting victories. It's not the case. So they got to go to plan B. And I'm looking at those OEL years where the cap hit sucks. The cap hit sucks. It's potentially an anchor, right? For a lot of teams. So is there a way you can find a lot of value and develop and execute on Podkolzin? Get some years during those dark cap years with OEL on the low and get a lot of value out of a guy that, again, right now in this moment, Tweener has definitely lost some steam with, I feel as if the fan base and just maybe the organization. Impress here. Impress going into September and beforehand. Is there any way they can look at that, be hopeful, buy low, and capitalize? Now, I was thinking about this as well on the drive. It's all good. It's all good if the Canucks get fair value and a lot of the deals that we now sign are not ones that Jim Betting would, aka Alvin and Rutherford know how to negotiate. They know they're not giving up the most all the time. You know what I'm saying? I feel as if there was no backbone on Jim Benning. I think there's a better chance that Alvin and Rutherford will be able to find fair value in the deals that they bring in. This all being said, this team needs a ton going on with players that are not making a lot, but playing a couple $1 million over, again, their value. Somehow, some way. They need those years. And it's coming up. It's coming up. Before you know it, OEL is going to cost a lot more. And man, oh man, we're going to hate Jim Benning all over again. I don't want to use the word hate, though, on this show, on this episode, okay? Locked On Canucks, your team every day. You know the deal. Kyle here. Trevor's not here. Fan first program for me, not for Trevor. That being said, it is what it is. We're sending a lot of love Beggsy's way, okay? Beggsy been doing it for a very long time and doing a lot for the listeners and for Kyle Bowen as well. One love to that guy and one love to the fans. Okay, let's get to Comment Corner at what? At allegedly 15 seconds, maybe 20 here on Locked On Canucks. Again, my name Kyle Bowen. Comment Corner on the other side. Thanks so much for watching. We grateful. We blessed. We are all locked on. We are all Canucks. Let's get to break.
Okay, before I get back to the show, I got to remind you that I have a Canucks blog. It's called Extra Extra, featuring Kyle Bowen and friends. If you want to learn more about it, hit the link in the bio below. It's just some reading and some writing done by me and, again, you and maybe Trevor. So hit the link in the bio after the show. Speaking of which, let's get back to the show.
Okay, we back. We back on Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave us a review. And speaking of those podcast listeners, okay, for real, you're not watching this obviously on YouTube right now. It is dark in the studio. It's ironic, okay? It's the late night edition. It's ironic because Trevor Beggs is not here, but it's dark in the studio. It's dark on YouTube. It is what it is. If there's people out there watching this and they're upset, it is what it is. I don't see these podcast listeners complaining on the other side, okay? Suck it up. It is what it is. Speaking of those fans, though, the best fans in the world, the best commenters in the world, the best subscribers in the world, I guess. Hey, you know the deal, okay? Like us or hate us. Who cares? Who cares? Go Canucks, go.
It's time for Comment Corner.
The first comment goes to Keys, okay? Let's call him Keys. He's talking about 2011 because we brought that up, right, on the previous episode of Locked On Canucks, right? Congratulations, AV, on being the greatest Canucks coach in history and retiring, you know, going to the other side, enjoy life. Thanks for the memories. And I've been lighter with the memories, right? 2011 it's still painful and it still sucks. And I'm still not watching highlights like that or going through it. I'm not watching the interviews. I'm not viewing it as history, okay? It hurts too much, but it definitely is getting lighter, and it's because of this show right here, right? Locked On Canucks. Beggsy saved my relationship, my open relationship with the Vancouver Canucks. Anywho, it's not about me. It's about Keys, okay? He's saying that was so traumatizing. It was an afternoon game, I guess the 4 o'clock game, right? I watched the game at the bar on Granville, expecting it to be the best day of my life. What transpired was a slowly unfolding nightmare. Yo, Keys, why you getting dark on me, man? 94 was different because I was just a kid and it was a Cinderella run. We should have won the cup in 2011. No way around it. On that day, on game 7, right? I'm in grade 12. I'm going to McDonald's, just nervous the whole day. And shout out to Ember Creek, okay? The best high school out there. I feel as if the people, the teachers knew what I was going through. They knew the deal. He's the Canucks fan over here. Let's leave him alone. I feel as if I was allowed to go to the washroom a lot that day, if you know what I mean, right? I'm going for walks. Anywho, I'm at McDonald's, and I see the cover for the province. And I don't know if this is like an imprinted memory that was made in post because I'm so hurt. But I truly believe that the front page on the province on game day was a picture, some sort of magnificent picture with all the Canucks accolades from that season. And there was just a lot of first and seconds, right? First in power play, first in penalty kill, blah, blah, blah. First in goals for, second in goals against, or first in goals against. You know, the list goes on and on. The best team ever. You know what I'm saying? This team is destined to win the cup. It's going to happen tonight. And yeah, fast forward to one of the darkest days of my life. And I've said this many times. I'd be a billionaire. A billionaire if the Canucks won the cup that day. All right, I'd be on to another life right now. For real. Philanthropy and street food from India. That's where I'm at. I'm trying the real curry, okay? I'm doing all those things if the Canucks won the cup, 12 years ago? My life's different. What was the other comment on that section? Okay, I think it came from... greatest guy out there, okay? Kempner Canucks. AV to Torts was an awful decision. Yes, again, we talked about that on the previous episode. One of the most embarrassing replacements / outcomes in Canucks history. Remember, this guy did not care. And he totally started the sabotage that was your current version / era of the Vancouver Canucks. He didn't care. He just ripped apart the whole statement, right? We are all Canucks? Really? Really, dude? Really, dude? No way. You ruined it. Sort of. Kind of. Not really, but really. Next comment. It comes from Jay. And this is the comment, okay? Trevor Beggs, the darkest guy on the program, but also the fan favorite. It's clear. It is what it is, right? It's a hockey show. Trevor Beggs, that guy, knows his beep. He's that guy. And Jay never likes it when this happens. And this is another episode of Locked On Canucks hosted by only Kyle. And he called me a lousy co-host. And this is because I did leave a couple F-bombs in the last episode. I'm sorry. Things happen. But I'm really, really happy they were left in there in regards to Torch not caring, okay? And again, this was an accident. But one of the F-bombs was connected to Torch. And the other one was connected to Beggsy, right? Saying he's a great dude. And that's when the other F word was used. My fault, though. And lousy co-host, we definitely putting that on a t-shirt, okay? We definitely putting that on a t-shirt. I think I'm making t-shirts sometime here, okay? For real. Check out my blog. We'll talk about it more there. Extra. I'm going to put the link to that in the bio below. I'm sorry, Jay, that you had to go through another episode of Locked On Canucks hosted by Kyle Bowen. But we appreciate the listens from everyone else. And again, you know the deal, right? Love us or hate us. Let's go, Canucks, go. It's just the truth. We are here for a reason, and we are here for that day, right? We win the Stanley Cup, and there's a 80-minute lineup. No. A 4-hour lineup to get into the pint. Well, we're all the way by Amsterdam Cafe. All right? We're all the way by what's that place? Cardam's. The line is far. But we're still waiting to get into the pint, and you're just hugging random people and holding on to them. Just saying we did it. We won a Stanley Cup. So that's what this is all about. Again, Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Hit the subscribe button. Shout out to all our sponsors. Shout out to the people just just subscribing and giving us energy, man. We blessed. We grateful on this side. I know our studio, really appreciates it. And this is what it's all about. A full 360 moment, right? That's what Parm versus the world would say. Anywho, another episode of Locked On Canucks. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. We don't know when you're listening or watching this, but hey, you know the deal. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.